In this devlog, we're going to be refining the existing onboarding flow in my mobile Git client app called GitSync that I've been working on. If you're new, hi, I'm Viz, and if you're not, welcome back. GitSync is an app that I've been developing to make it easier to sync and interact with Git on mobile, and it's available on Android and iOS. This devlog series will give you a peek behind the curtain and show you how I go about working on a project like this as a solo developer. If you want to learn more about the project or the codebase, please check out devlog 0 for more info. But to cover the basics, GitSync is a Flutter project with a Rust API layer for Git operations. The onboarding flow is what you're seeing in full on the screen at the moment. It was recently revamped with these new animations, but there are still a few bugs and issues left over that I want to fix up in this video. The first thing is only tangentially related to the onboarding flow, and it's to do with the user flow for GitHub scoped oAuth. For some context, this type of oAuth allows you to log in with GitHub and also gives you additional control over the repositories that GitSync has access to through a handy web UI. The issue is that some newer users aren't familiar with the flow that this entails of logging in and then also installing the GitHub app and selecting the repos to give access to. It also doesn't help that there was an intermittent bug where the install URL would sometimes be incorrectly loaded. For that reason, I've now added these two dialogues to make it super clear what is about to happen to the user. I think that looks great. Now, onto the actual onboarding flow itself. First up, on the first page, I want to consolidate these buttons down to just the two. There's not much difference between the behavior of skip and I'm familiar as it is, so this should be easy enough. So now, it's just the I'm familiar and let's go button, simplifying the choice down to I've used the app before or I haven't used the app before. Okay, now on the client sync mode page, there's a strange issue caused by individual backgrounds fading in, overlapping one another in the UI. It may be hard to see, but it's also pretty easily fixed. As you can see, the design is a little different, but there's absolutely no issue now with any text being covered. Okay, so next, while we're here, there's a more broad change I want to make. Because GitSync is cross-platform, it can be used on devices of all shapes and sizes. To limit the variance in experience across devices, the onboarding is already locked to portrait, but on smaller and larger screens, the text and icons can sometimes overlap these lines in the background, and when that happens, it can blend in and become totally invisible. I've already used a pattern of adding a shadow behind the text with the same color as the background to increase separation where needed. So I've now just applied that more broadly, so it's invisible on most screens, but if anything does overlap, the important stuff stays legible. And finally, I'm going to rapid fire some smaller changes. This includes making it so that the page bypasses the premium page in the onboarding if the user has already gotten premium, extracting hard-coded strings in the onboarding so that they can be more easily translated, making sure the premium dialog auto-dismisses itself if the user already has premium, and updating some logic so that the legacy user dialog isn't shown more than once. I did have a few more changes I thought I'd be fixing, but they turned out to not be reproducible and/or already fixed. But if you come across any issues, please do drop a message in the Discord or email me directly and I'll get right on it. That's all the things for today, but in a future video, I think we'll update some tests and maybe also add some new sync methods on iOS. Anyway, that marks the end of this video. If you want to stay up to date, feel free to join the Discord server, and if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like if you liked, and subscribe if you want to do that too. But for now, have a great day and see you in the next one.